basically the agenda, what I was thinking, I was going to give a brief run through of high level Gumroad, what it is. Most people are sort of probably semi familiar with it. But just because we've seen this like kind of crazy uptick in volume and just numbers of creators joining the platform, I think a lot of people staying at home and trying to figure out potentially other avenues to make money and things like that. I thought it would be good to kind of start do this one off. But if this, if there's a lot of interest in continuing to do this and maybe bringing on different creators, I thought Daniel would be a great first creator because he's just been super transparent, similar to how Gumroad is, like super transparent with his own numbers. And so I think after I go through like the high level Gumroad, I'll let him screen share and he can sort of walk through how he uses Gumroad, and then you'll have like real stuff to look at. And then I can go through like the more nuanced specific parts of Gumroad and answer any questions that people might have. So basically if you don't know what Gumroad is, which surprisingly there are all these people that are part of like the Gumroad newsletter that are not Gumroad creators. So I'll start there. Gumroad is a service that helps creators sell digital content to their audience directly. And then we take a small percentage cut of that. If you are a premium user, you pay us $10 a month, and it's 3.5%, including credit card processing. So pretty cheap and affordable. And then if you want the free plan, we take 8.5%, also including credit card processing. Gumroad used to look a little bit like this. This was what Gumroad looked like when I launched the project. It was a little weekend side thing in 2011, April 2011, so almost 9 years ago. And it's kind of cool because it looks hopefully different, but it's roughly the same idea, which is we just want to make it really easy for you to sell your typically digital products directly to your audience. And I thought I would start. I just found this product. This guy has gone crazy with custom CSS, but this is kind of what it looks like to customers, right? So it lets you create these landing pages. You can go through here. You can enter your credit card information. I already have it saved and an email, and then you just hit pay. It does a transaction, and then you could start reading using the inline PDF reader we have, or you can download it, and then it'll download directly. You can open it up, and then you can start consuming the product right how you would. And so that's basically Gumroad. We help people create experiences like that, and there's a lot more coming that we'll get into. So I just saw this product on Twitter as I was waiting for the call to start. I thought it'd be a fun way to kind of start things off. And there's a lot that we're going to cover. This is the best place to see like basically everything that Gumroad offers, from building an audience, letting you create an email newsletter, selling digital products, physical products, memberships, doing pre-orders, integrations with different services, just tons. There's just a lot of functionality here. Gumroad is really simple, and we try to keep it like that. But it is also pretty powerful. Let's start with sharing this. Letting Daniel share his screen. So I need to stop sharing, I believe. Also, I've never done this before. Yeah. We're figuring this out live. The advice that I always give to creators is just start, and you'll learn along the way. And so that's what I'm trying to follow my own advice. So you should be able to share your screen, hopefully.
Yeah, let's see.
And then, keep asking your questions in the chat, by the way. And
is it showing? Is my screen live?
Yep. You're good. You're good to go.
Yeah. So let's see. So I basically have one product essentially on Gumroad. I have a second one with just a team license. So I definitely don't use all the features. Mm-hmm. And I think I can start with the product page, like the most interesting part, where I think what I love about Gumroad is that I can't imagine an easier way of selling a digital product online. It's literally just putting the title, writing the description, uploading the PDF. You set the price somewhere over here, right? Where is it? There it is. You hit save, and then you have the URL and you share it, right? So this literally just took me a few hours to go from never used the product before to having something online. And then obviously I started selling it. I started sharing it with my audience. I have a little bit of an audience on Twitter, and word of mouth just kept bringing sales.
Yeah.
Something I use quite a lot are the discount codes. I use them a little bit as well as a way to identify sources of traffic. So for example, whenever I post a link or sometimes even a new tweet, I tend to create a discount code. Nearly every time I share a link personally, I tend to include a small discount, even if it's a small amount. And this sort of helps me can see how many sales have arrived through the discount code. It helps me understand where some of the sales are coming from. Very poor man's referral sort of analytics. For example, this one, super popular. This one was
That's
just
funny.
last week for the pandemic. Sort of I made a very deep discount. I shared it on Twitter, had 179 sales, I think in less than 10 days.
That's crazy.
And for example, the launch here, when I launched it, 656 sales, that was the first time I tweeted about it. And so yeah, this is good. One thing I would love here actually to happen as a feature request live is to be
Sure.
able to set these to 0, which I think the system doesn't allow me.
Oh, I see.
Sometimes I think I can set them to 1. Basically, I can delete them, but if I delete them, then I lose the statistic.
Oh, I see.
And right, and the user also gets the warning like the discount is not applicable anymore, which is a bit ugly.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other thing I use mostly is the analytics page, where basically I can track the sales of the product, and there's the list of referrers. This sometimes takes a few seconds to load.
Yeah, we're working on trying to make this faster right now.
It seems a bit faster now, right? Did something happen recently?
Yeah,
It's looking
every couple weeks we try to improve it, but we're working on a big overhaul of the back end for this
of the backend. Yeah.
purchase analytics. Also, your balance page sometimes can get kind of slow to load.
Yeah.
But one thing that's really interesting about your use case, and I'll go through, a lot of people are asking questions in the chat. I'll go through creating products,
Mm-hmm.
different types of products, like a membership and a library and things like that. After your Daniel
Mm-hmm.
screen share is covered. But one of the things I love about what you were able to do is you saw Gumroad, as you mentioned, you had like an incredibly simple idea, and you didn't. I think a lot of creators see that and they're like, this is like, there's no way you can like scale this because it's just like too simple. We get that feedback a lot. Like there's just not enough. How can you sell a product and make any money like with like a PDF or
Yeah.
something like that?
No, yeah. In fact, my this is an ebook that I'm selling, and it started as an experiment. I have never written anything for money before, and I was doing other things as well. I didn't really want to invest months or years doing something, and then it doesn't sell or whatever. So I think Gumroad fit perfectly in my time boxed experiment. I
Yeah.
literally had set a month, and it ended up taking even less than a month from literally an idea to putting it on the market and selling it. And basically, I definitely didn't want to go to the burden of finding a publisher and all the sort of stuff that happens with a publisher. Even Amazon Kindle, even though they're self-publishing, seemed even more burdensome. Not only that, but takes a significantly bigger cut. I think
Yeah. Huge amount.
something like 65% for something over $9.99. There's lots of different exceptions and rules, but I think that's what my product would have qualified, whereas Gumroad is only taking 3.5%. But yeah, I couldn't imagine a simpler way. Like as I said before, it's literally just, I didn't even bother customizing the themes and whatever. I liked it. It converts very well. Right?
Yeah.
I just dragged and dropped the PDF and set the price, share the link, and literally it was impressive actually how fast people are able to put their credit cards in, because like seconds later, I think after I posted the tweet, I started getting sale, which was quite incredible.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so so yeah, so if you want me to go to the analytics page very quickly, like this, I check this frequently. That gives me an idea of the pulse of the business a little bit. So I started taking pre-orders. So this is the first region here, and my pre-orders, I didn't actually use the pre-order feature in Gumroad at the time. I think because I believe it doesn't allow you to attach a sample, right? I think, and so I created a regular product where I literally just put the title pre-order. People still paid it like a regular product. I did when I launched it. I just sent an email to everyone. So I launched on Christmas Day. Actually, this was another experiment. I don't know if it helped or not, but I thought it was a nice, interesting day to launch the product. Lots of people at home, and so yeah, I think this is the typical. I imagine, right? I don't have a lot of experience, but I think this is a typical graph of a digital product, right, where the launch period was high, like, and then it sort of settled here. Was doing about $1,000 a day, and then it had another sort of dip, and it's now sort of doing a
Yeah,
few hundred
we see
dollars
that
a
a
day.
lot. We see that a lot where you have, I think the most successful creators, what they figure out is they have this kind of like tiered approach where they launch a product and then like
Yeah,
sort of every 6 months or so they have like another product that kind of, and then over
exactly.
time those layer on top of each other and have like a sort of a base level of support. Um, and that's, yeah, that those are typically the people that we see making six figures a year
Yeah.
consistently, a full sort of income. Are those folks? Do you use posts by chance? Do you use the post?
I don't use. I only send. I don't use them a lot. I send emails when obviously I launched the product, and then when I created a team license,
Uh-huh.
and I posted another one where sort of I made a small update to the book and I released the source code on GitHub, like so small announcements as a mailing list. I'm not really using it as I believe you can use it as a blog essentially, right? Like um, what's it called? Like Patreon, I believe, right? Where you sort of have the updates. But I'm not using
Yeah.
that. I thought about it, but haven't really had um, I think the opportunity
Mhm.
to try it out.
Awesome. So someone asks in the chat, what is posts? So posts are basically, as Daniel mentioned, basically blog posts and emails in one. So every time you create a post, you can select if you want to email your audience, just your customers, just your followers, or you want to tell everybody. And then you can also optionally put it on your profile, similar to Patreon. So over time, you can use it as a blog. It's a pretty new feature. We just shipped it. Um, Late last year, I think, something like that. Um, but it's in line with memberships, which is like the big focus for us over the next few months. Um, so let me hijack this again.
Yeah.
Allowed
So
to.
yeah.
Awesome. And let me. I'm gonna basically create a product. I think that's like the easiest way to show people like what Gumroad kind of enables you to do. Um, and so that I think is a good spot. So let's do that. And there are a lot of questions. I'll try to answer them as it goes. My account kind of sucks because this is why Daniel's been great, because I just use it to create demo products. But let's create a product. So yeah, like the bare minimum. So to create an account, you need to log in, or you need to create an account with an email and a password, just like you saw 2011 Gumroad. Like that really hasn't changed. And our big MO there is basically we never want to make it harder to do what Daniel did, which is to sell a PDF. Like we're going to add a ton of functionality. Pre-orders and memberships are two things that we already do. We do all sorts of affiliates and integrations and discount codes and pay what you want pricing and all sorts of stuff. But we never want to make it so that if you want to go sell a PDF for $5 to your Twitter audience, like we never want to make that harder than it is today. It's always going to be super easy. So I just have some placeholder text. So let me just create a product. So if I wanted to sell a PDF, let's say for like $20, you add a product. You now have the preview on the right. So like, let's add a cover. Let's add a cover, which I also have, I believe. So, you could create this. I think this was created in Canva, which is a free online tool. Um, that you can use to create. Basically, you find a pretty image, and then you overlay some text on top of it. And at some point, we'll actually enable this to be done within Gumroad. That's a feature that we'd like to support. You can add details. So, for example, let's say, actually, let's upload the file first. So, like, you can, if you already have products, you can select them from existing products. Let's just upload from a computer. This is a PDF um, that I wrote back when I aspired to make Gumroad $1 billion company. Um, I can hit save. This is, I mean, and now the product kind of exists. So, for example, um, it starts pulling in automatic data from the PDF that I've uploaded. So, over time, more things will show up here, like how many pages it is. I can always go in and I can update it. So I can just say, I want to say how many pages it is, 45 pages. This is just a simple kind of table. So, we have like this long story text, and then you can add whatever you want here. You can remove it if you don't want to show the file size. You can upload more files. You can give people license keys. You can stamp the PDF. So, for example, I have it. I think this is it. So if you stamp a PDF, it'll look something like this in the corner, just on the first page, just to give some sort of. I think it does two things. One, it gives you a little bit of security that people aren't going to share it as often, but then also it kind of just makes it a little bit more personalized. Everyone gets their like own kind of like unique copy. Um, if I wanted to do pay what you want, that's really easy. I can add a plus sign. There you go. You're done. So let's publish it. Let's see how this looks like. So I would just share this product page. I can, this is responsive. So, it can go on your phone or it can go super wide. It's pay what you want now. So like I can enter 20 or I can enter 25. I want this because I'm logged in as the creator. There's a test card functionality. This is like something that I'm super proud of because I think it just makes it so much easier to test stuff out. You can update your product and do all these things, and you can come here, and then you're all set. I can show you what it looks like, our inline PDF reader. So there you go. You can move through it, all these sorts of things. We also have apps. Let's see if this works. Awesome. We have apps so you can download for iOS and Android if you want to save everything on your phone. So it's just, I mean, this is it. I mean, look, like I could tweet out this link. I could start making money. I won't do that because this thing's not worth $25, but it's pretty cool. And one of the features that we just built, or just shipped yesterday, we haven't announced this yet. I will literally after this call go launch it, but you can upload multiple files and then you could do tiered pricing all in one. So for example, you can say I have, you could, tiers. I could say like the base bundle. I could create another one and say this is sort of the advanced bundle, and then I can select the files that go with each, and I can say, the base only gets this initial file, and then the advanced gets all of them. I can save it. When I go back to that product and refresh, you'll now see an option to select which one you want. You could also, change the price, have quantity. So you could say this is, an extra $10 or something like that. And so this is all native. And you can basically upload as many files as you want at any file size really as well. And that's all basically inclusive of the percentage that we take. So it's funny because a lot of people ask these questions. I almost forget to like bring it up because to me it's like obvious that none of this stuff would be charged for, but there are so many services that do charge for this and that. And so, yeah, basically it's all inclusive. Like everything Daniel showed, everything that we've shown so far is like, there's no real limits. If there's a few things that are constrained, like you can't have a bunch of workflows, but almost everything is just part of the thing, part of the fee that we already charge. You can limit product sales. You can allow people to buy multiple copies. What else can you do? You can, Daniel already showed the discount codes, but you can ask for custom information. So for example, if you say, I want to know people's, I don't know, what city do you live in? you can say I definitely want that, or I want it to be optional. All that updates in real time. So just that payment form you saw, you can kind of see what it's going to look like, and you can kind of decide if it's worth, another field in this context. You can change the receipt text, to add some customer information, or for example, you're doing a Zoom call that you want to charge for. You can say, register for the webinar, with the URL. It's a super flexible thing. We have all these cool animations in the experience too. You can embed it on your website. This is something you don't have to do. A lot of people have these social audiences now and just kind of like copy these links and share them. But if you wanted to, you can embed it on your website and it'll just live directly on your website. You just have to copy paste this code and put it there. And it'll look something like this. So the entire experience you're already familiar with, but in line on whatever website you might have. We have themes, like you saw that Yu-Gi-Oh thing in the beginning. So I can show you that. But yeah, just a lot of stuff. These are the posts. Oh, I can't. Can I view my own posts when I'm logged in? Yeah. So you can see this is how I use the posts feature to kind of as a blog. People can follow me here. Someone asked about following. So following is basically like if you're familiar with MailChimp or ConvertKit, we basically allow for that sort of thing, right? So I'm logged in, so I have this extra bar at the top, but let's say I create a new window, I can share out this thing, people can follow me, and then, I can go into my posts, and I can share content and build up my audience that way. And it's all free, basically. Awesome. Let me see. Someone asked about tiers. Tiers are basically variants, but just more specific to memberships. And over time, we want to fork them off because there's certain functionality that tiers will want. And so we want to be able to support that. As I mentioned, I don't want to build features that overcomplicate just selling a PDF. So for people that don't want and need those features, like I don't want to complicate the product. So yeah, for example, if I wanted to send a new post out, I can set it to everyone, only my followers, only customers. Let's say I only want to send to people that bought that new product, only the advanced tier. I could also use this instead if I wanted to, if I've like changed a bunch of tiers around and I want to guarantee that, people that paid a certain amount, and I just type in a thing, I can upload files. So I can even email, updates to the files, or I can do that directly from the product and then just tell people, hey, go redownload the product. It's updated. You can schedule them if you want to, or you can send them out immediately. This is what we use to do all the Gumroad emails. So the email that you got about this webinar was using this feature, except just a lot more people. So let me think. What else haven't I shown? Let's see. So there's setting up. There's the sales process. We're adding Apple Pay to it soon. There's analytics, which Daniel showed. There's customers. So this is, again, really simple. I unfortunately can't show you that just because people's emails would be exposed. But it basically looks something like this, a little bit cleaner now. But you can refund, you can resend receipts, you can update information, all sorts of things. Buyers, and yeah. So I mean, there's more. I mean, I can go on for hours about all the functionality that we have. Like, for example, we have affiliates. So let's say I want Daniel to be an affiliate of mine. I just get his email. I say he gets 50% of every sale. I add an affiliate that gets, he gets an email with all the instructions, but I also can track his link, and how many sales he's made right here. We're adding a lot more functionality to this. And so there is this, it's like, I think of Gumroad like a fractal or like a really nice painting I like to paint, where like it's really simple, but as you get deeper and deeper and deeper into it, like more complexity is unveiled over time. Ron asks about physical products. Tanya, yeah, don't worry, I won't go on for hours. But physical products is a good one. So let's do that. Let's do a physical product. So same thing. Let's say I'm selling a painting. Like I've sold oil paintings here before using Gumroad, and I have uh, this set of awesome paintings. These are digital paintings, but I thought I would just use them by Simon Stahlberg or whatever, who basically I feel like has pictured what coronavirus might look like and do to our society. Uh, but let's say, oil painting, $100. This contains a physical product, and I'll show you a little bit about what the difference is. So the core difference with a physical product is you don't have to upload files. You can if you want to, um, but you don't have to. So I can upload one of these images as the cover. I can have the text. What I use, I'll show you a feature I worked on that I really like that gives me, makes me feel good every time I use it. It's a very simple feature. But I'll show you. So when I was selling paintings, I'd always do this. I'd always say dimensions, I don't know, 5, is that the right one? 5 by 12 or whatever. And then I would say, like media, oil on canvas or something like that, right? And then I'd have to do this like every single time. And that's it. And now you've sold a physical product. You can tweet this out. I know painters that make a full-time living just like posting their artwork on Instagram, and then anytime someone DMs them like, hey, I want to buy this, they just go in Gumroad and they create a product, upload it as the cover, and then share it out. That's it. And so we have a duplicate feature now that we added. So boom, I duplicated this feature or this product. All of this stuff is here. I can change the cover, I can change the name, and I'm done. I have to publish it again, and then I'm done. And so we're always looking for like how fast can we make, how low friction can we make this product? Like that duplicate feature, I don't know. I think 14, 15% of products are created using the duplicate feature. We have like, you can do from existing or from Dropbox. So I can just boom, boom. It's just, we're always looking for like how freaking streamlined can we make this thing? Because creators, I don't know. What I like to say is creators, it's already hard enough to make a living as a creator. Like, so the more that we can do to simplify this stuff, like the better. Unfortunately, you can't stamp EPUBs. Ken asks, unfortunately not. So Ezzy, if someone orders that painting, what happens? You get an email saying, hey, someone bought your painting. They get a receipt. And then you just have to so I've done this before. I get an email with their shipping address. So for example, one thing I would make sure to do, I believe it's already defaulted because I created a physical product. But for example, if you're doing I don't know, in-person pickup or something, you could remove that. But I get this information and then I just go to the post office and ship it out. That's it. It's really simple. Duplicate feature, just to remind folks, is right here. So you just hover and hit duplicate. You can do rentals where there's a big uncertainty in the film industry right now. And so we've gotten a lot of requests around rentals and like just selling films in general. If you're curious about that, there's a great URL. You can go to gumroad.com/sell/films, which we put a lot of work into. You could buy Jiro Dreams of Shusi on it, I believe, still. And sort of look at the functionality. This is kind of what the customer dashboard looks like. But we did this cool little demo that you can check out that still surprisingly works. But you can do rentals, watching in line. So we have like our native player as well. You hit watch, you can stream this. You can upload subtitles, all sorts of stuff. So we have a ton of functionality. So rentals, let's say, it's $5 because I've uploaded an MP4, which we know is a video file. We show this offer rental button. You hit that, you say, it's $3 for the rental. You could also do pay what you want, which adds plus signs. And I believe, does it reflect there? No, not yet. We need to change that. You hit publish. And then as you see here, you would have a selector here, and you can select if you want to rent or buy. And then, all that stuff is handled directly. Sell music. Oh, okay. Let's do music. Let's see. Oh, we have a music tab too. sell your music directly to your fans. One of our designers has a band, Sun Hotel, um, and same thing. I mean, the cool thing with Gumroad is that it's roughly the same product no matter what you sell. So instead of watching, you're listening, but you can do the same thing. We use the overlay here, so you can go through. I've already purchased this product. You're welcome, Al. So I can download it straight, but if I wanted to purchase it again, I could do that. Here he's using the versions to say MP3 or which format do you want. Um, he's filled this out, um, and you can listen to it. So let's see if that works. It's such an old product. Yeah, so you can listen to it right here. We're going to redesign this whole thing. I know people are really, really excited about like how powerful can you make this page? So we're going to do that as well. Someone asks about taxes. That's such a boring question. Oh, my computer's freezing. Let's do taxes. So the way taxes work is you go into your settings, sort of like default check or disclaimer, talk to an accountant. Oh yeah, if you have a premium account, you could remove the Gumroad little powered by Gumroad at the bottom. And then where is it? Yeah, so I can just say, okay, I'm in Oregon, so I have Nexus in Oregon. That's what my accountant tells me. Then I hit save, and then I can go back to that physical product. And let's see. You can also most creators honestly just do inclusive taxes, so they just charge whatever amount, and then they just deal with the tax burden after the fact. But you could just do that, and then automatically collect sales tax. The price stays the same. What changes is the display in the receipt, so it just makes it easier to account for that. We also do EU VAT. So if you go EU VAT Gumroad, let's see. You'll just know that we automatically deal with it. So you'll see here that if you're selling to any customer in the EU, they mandate that you collect VAT, regardless of where as a creator you're based on. So we handle that automatically. We just add the money in based on the rates, collect it, and remit it to the UK government. Currently, still the UK government. I don't know what happens now with Brexit. But that's on us. So we'll figure it out as a creator. You don't have to worry about it. You can create multiple accounts per bank account. I can't show you the payout screen because that will reveal my address. Though technically I did move, but yeah, there's that. So streaming stuff, all that stuff kind of works. Okay, let's see. I opened all these tabs to make sure I cover them all. Audience. So this features audience will tell you about the follow, all the newsletter functionality that we have, and some examples of what that looks like. Really simple, easy, and free. This is my own page. You could also, if you have a bunch of products, I currently don't, but for example, Jan has a bunch of products. He sells a bunch of like Webflow templates and other things. UI kits maybe as well. So you can check out his profile for what, if you have all this functionality, you can what your page might look like. This is analytics, but for my newsletter. So this is, me just sharing it out on Twitter and stuff. And then you get your analytics. You can always download the data if you're like, I don't know, for whatever reason you want to leave Gumroad, you can download all the emails and bounce. Posts, music, courses. So same thing. Because you can sell music, you can sell audio, you can sell PDFs. You can basically form your own product. Okay, so this is Jan's website. So you can follow him. I'm logged in, so I don't have to enter an email. You can see all this. If you want, you can now hide this bar if you wish to. But if you wanted to gain followers, you just go /follow, and now you have a page that's just your header. You can share it out and collect emails as well. Okay, cool. What else? Klaus, we don't have any plans to introduce watermarking for every PDF page at the moment. The problem with that is sometimes people sell like 350-page books on Gumroad, and then it would just take a long time to PDF stamp every page. Like it's a very burden. PDFs are not the most modern file format. So the way that we PDF stamp, the way that you just have to do that stuff is just kind of brutal and complicated. And so, yeah, unfortunately, what I would love to see is PDFs just going away entirely, and you could create products within Gumroad or something like that. Yeah, Tay has a good idea, which is just watermark the original doc. That doesn't solve the problem of every purchaser getting a unique watermark, but it works. I don't not recommend PDFs. I just think they're the best, but they're not that great, if that makes sense. There are no file size limits. Some people sell gigabytes and gigabytes of video content. If you have the base plan on Gumroad, the free plan, I think we transcode up to 720, and then if you have the Pro, we transcode up to 1080p automatically. All the streaming and stuff will just work. You don't have to do anything. Normally, when people sell books, we see PDFs, EPUBs, and MOBI files. So that's a great example of using versions where you can create the versions, and you can just say format, and then people can you can either give everyone all three, or you can just give each one the right one for them. There are no file size limits if you have the premium plan. We get rid of all file size limits. If you're the free plan for 0+ products, we have a 250 megabyte limit. Just because, yeah, we were just getting hammered on hosting fees for free content that we weren't able to like make the math work for us. MOBI files are a little complicated, but normally I like MOBI files. A friend of mine just sent me a book for Kindle MOBI file, so I just have to get this on my Kindle. But I think they're proprietary to Kindle, to Amazon. I think that Amazon invented that format. I personally really like EPUBs. They're reflowable content, but it really just depends. And then let's talk about what's coming up. So I talked about files per version. So this is the roadmap. I'll share a link to this as well, but we like to be super open with what we're working on. And so I just want to take you guys through what we're working on. So the big thing is memberships. This is a thing that we've been working on for a long time. A lot of the changes that you've seen, let me open this up in the original, are kind of in preparation for this. So you've seen most of this, but the big change is, as I mentioned before, is you'll have tiers. You'll be able to have pricing. This is unique to Gumroad. You can't do this on any other service that I think I know of, but you'll be able to do annual subscriptions and things like that, which are great, especially in a time like COVID-19. Being able to collect money up front is really nice. So you'll be able to give people like a discount if they pay for 12 months up front. The pay what you want functionality will be there. You'll be able to do all this stuff in line. And then of course, a big change is going to be what it looks like. So you'll be able to have it on your profile, but then the product is going to look very, very different as well. And this is some feedback I'm actually interested in from creators. Is if this was how all products look like, where you had, instead of having the cover and then the stuff over here, the cover would be part of the left and it was just like this 2-column thing. That's something we're thinking about enabling for all products. So I'd love feedback on what that might look like. Native Facebook pixel support. So basically, let's see if I have it enabled on my account already. We've been beta testing this with people. Let's see if I have it. I don't have it enabled. But basically what you'll be able to do, similar to Google Analytics, you just go to Facebook, you give us, you get your pixel from them, your pixel ID, and then you paste it in a thing that will exist soon. And then we handle all the code that you would need to basically do retargeting and remarketing. I forget which word is the proper word. That's going to be great. And also, by the way, I've heard it's a lot cheaper to do that now. A lot of people have stopped buying ads in this time. So if you have the model and it works for you, that's going to be a great feature. Should go live in the next couple weeks. Fred asks if there will be a replay. There will be a replay. And I know I'm talking fast. I want to cover as much as possible. And you can always replay stuff. You can create as many Gumroad products, or you can create as many Gumroad products. You can also create as many Gumroad accounts as you want. And people do that if they want very different branding, or if they have like a band and their personal stuff, and they can do that as well. We don't limit that. Unfortunately, Felipe, how's it going? We don't have the ability to reassign workflows. It would just get really complicated, but we would like to at some point. Steve asked about PowerPoint presentations. Literally any file is good to go. You can literally sell anything. And worst case scenario, like you can upload zips, right? So you can upload as many files as you want, but if you really want, you can just, turn these into oh, that was actually really cool. I typed archive and it went to compress. Apple is the best at low friction stuff. It's absolutely phenomenal. And then you could just upload this file. If you really want to keep things simple and just get started, like just upload a zip, and you'll lose a little bit of functionality. Like for example, you can't watermark a zip. You can't download or you can't do streaming and things like that. But you could always do that. What other things? The ratio of the product images. Oh yeah, that's coming, Scott. That's this one. Boom. So soon you will be able to upload. You'll see here. Let me open it in the big one. You'll see here there's an image here. So soon you'll be able to upload, in the next month or so, hopefully, you'll be able to upload an image thumbnail, and that's going to be the one that shows up on this page. So you'll be able to have a custom image, and that will work on the library. So for example, in my library, let's do that, switch to buying. See, this new product that I bought is right over here. I can archive it if I don't want. I can send it directly to Kindle. Just type in my Kindle email. Amazon makes this incredibly annoying, but on purpose, because I think they want people to use the Kindle store, but you can send it directly to Kindle. I can read it, download it. I can resend the receipt to myself, and then I can, archive it away. Why did that come here though? I came to the library. Oh yeah, so you'll be able to replace this image as well. These will all be square, and then you'll be able to have your cover that's separate, which this is actually a good example, because I think in the context of this, my guess is he doesn't use this page that often, or on mobile, it makes a lot more sense. Because yeah, it kind of gets kind of gnarly when you do this, which is another reason we're experimenting with this kind of layout. So yeah, so memberships is like the big one. Then we're going to add Apple Pay. This is a redesign in progress. We're not sold on this, but we will experiment with like making this a little bit cleaner and simpler. Add Apple Pay and things like that. Unfortunately, you can't expire a discount code automatically, but one day we will support that. And then yeah, once we have Apple Pay, Google Pay, whatever pays you want, should be pretty easy to support. One-click upsells will come after this. We'll add a feature where you can, if you have multiple products, you can just like pick another product and do automatic upsells within this whole experience. One of the really cool things about that version thing I was talking about, let's go back to selling, is you'll be able to do automatic upgrades and things like that in here. So for example, if you had these two versions, if this was 10, soon we'll make it possible so that within that download page, like within this, you'll be able to, you'll see the files and be able to upgrade and pay and do all that stuff within Gumroad, and it'll just be really great. Adding stuff to affiliates. This is basically that, which is we're going to overhaul this whole page and make it amazing. But it's a huge project. And that will enable courses and classes and live streaming, webinars like this, you'll be able to charge for really easily. And And yeah, landing pages and funnels we'll do. It's a huge project, but we'll do all this. It's just going to take some time. We're a small team, uh, but yeah, that's kind of uh, the summary. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, some questions. Let's do Q&A now. I know there are a lot. I'll go through them soon. One thing that I really, so yeah, integrations, you can set up pings. So for example, you just go to settings advanced, go to ping. If you just Google Gumroad ping, you'll get familiar with this. But you can basically say, you can get pinged on every response. If you have like a Zapier URL or something like that, how do you spell Zapier? Whatever. This will just automatically get a JSON thing for every purchase. You can automatically add people to your ConvertKit or your MailChimp newsletter, or do your own custom integration. Yeah, it's like a never-ending thing. There's just so much. There's just so much here, and there will be more. Another thing you could do, if you want, is you can just say, I don't want Gumroad to deal with this. I actually want to deal with it myself. I just want to send everyone to my website. I wish I owned this domain. Book. And then boom, you'll just send people. People buy the product and they'll get redirected to your website. Currently, Tanya asks about courses and classes. Yeah, so the cool thing with Gumroad is it will just get better over time. So for now, you can have a course by just uploading a zip file or uploading a bunch of videos and PDFs. And we have people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year doing that. We just had a launch pretty recently, and they made 600,000 in a day. So it's very possible. But as we add more of this functionality, where you'll be able to have like course completion and like a more visual layout, and you'll be able to have resume functionality, so you'll be able to know where you are in progress wise in the file, in the product. It'll just be there. You won't have to do anything to necessarily enable it. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. Yeah, ConvertKit does have native Gumroad integration, and Zapier as well, I think. So you don't have to use ping, but I don't know if you want to, you can. Yeah, ConvertKit actually, Nathan was a Gumroad, the CEO of ConvertKit was a Gumroad creator. And I think at least partially his Gumroad income helped him make it. And he promotes Gumroad quite a bit, so we're super, super appreciative of that as well. We don't do any real paid marketing. And so the more Gumroad creators talk about Gumroad, that's how we grow. You can do a Squarespace integration. You can literally just take this snippet, copy to clipboard, go to your Squarespace, and then paste this into your website, and then boom, you have a button, you click the button, it's done. One of the really nice things about Gumroad is because everything lives within this product, it works. WordPress integration, same thing. You could either do this, or we actually have a WordPress plugin, which basically just does that. So you can read about that here. But virtually it's the same. It's the same thing. It just does that for you. There's a little bit more functionality, like you can do cool things like that instead of typing in the link itself. You can also do embeds. So I can show you what that looks like. Share, embed. And then basically it embeds like a product within your website. So you can even do inline. You don't even have to have an overlay. You can just, all this stuff will work within your website. Boom. Pretty cool stuff. All right, let's see what other questions there are. You can sell something for zero plus, but yes, you can do zero. And if you want, you could do a discount code that makes it free. What other questions? In terms of right pricing, I would recommend double what you would normally, what you think. You could always double it and then offer discount codes. I think that's a better strategy than really being cheap, super like I think creators often discount the value that they are offering. That's what we see normally. So I always encourage people to charge more. And always you can decrease it, but almost always I've seen people double the price and make more sales. There's a great book called Predictably Irrational that I recommend checking out. It talks a lot about pricing. What else? Yeah, so Daniel, can you talk a little bit about how you built your audience? Because I think that's not really within the Gumroad product, but like obviously like
Yeah.
Gumroad is much better if you have a large audience. And I think some people look at you and they're like, this person has like tens of thousands of Twitter followers. Like I don't, like that's not like I can't learn anything from this. And that I think someone that knows your past is you had literally zero, I think, like a year ago. So could you talk a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
about that?
No, yeah. So Elizabeth, my story is I left. I used to work at Amazon. I left my job in February of 2019, so just a year and a month ago. And to be honest, I didn't really plan of working on building an audience. I thought, like many people, starting something for themselves, that I was just going to create something, post it on Hacker News, and then pray that it gets upvoted and goes up. Um, but when I started imagining the situation, sort of the possibility that I might spend months working on something and then nobody ever sees it, started to scare me.
Yeah.
And sort of I shifted to, I had been already hearing from others, like that it's good to have an audience, sort of to get known. And I was practically unknown to the world. Like I had never used social media before. Twitter, I had been using it as a consumer, but never really posted anything. And it was literally the first week as a self-employed person, I started thinking, what could I do that I could share? And I started by, I think, the first thing that occurred to me was, why don't I just start describing my journey, right? And sort of I wrote a blog post first where I described sort of my rationale on why I chose to leave my job and start working for myself, leave a cushy job where I was well paid, and so on and so forth. And that was a little bit of the seed to start getting some attention. And since then, I had basically kept at it. So I basically have been documented all the decisions, the things that I'm thinking, even small mundane things. I think somebody mentioned in the chat, for example, just buying a .com domain that was off the market, was very popular. Basically, I formed a habit where almost every day I look back at what happened during the day, and if I think there's something that other people like me that would find interesting, I started tweeting about it. Twitter was eventually the platform that I settled on most. It fit very well with me, like that. It's just again low friction. I mostly tweet from my phone. Just as soon as something, and I bump into something that I think might be worth sharing, I share it. So I didn't really have any viral moments. I think basically the audience started to grow gradually. It was a bit slower in the beginning. I think it took the first 6 months, maybe I gained 6,000 followers, and it's picked up a little bit more recently. Incidentally, just sharing the behind the scenes of the book was again like very not like the book wasn't just good financially, like it exceeded my expectations, but it helped me grow my audience even more just
Yeah.
literally by sharing.
It's a loop
It's
for
like
sure,
there's
right?
the loop, exactly, right? So because again, like many people are curious, they want to know, the people like to follow as well a story as it's happening, which I think Twitter makes it very easy to do. It's not just a retrospective, but you post real-time updates. And so yeah, it's working. I highly recommend it. I could have written the book, a year ago, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have sold any. Right, it's very hard for something self-published
Yeah.
to sell. So I think the audience had multiple ways. Like some people bought it directly, and some, I think, just spread the word of mouth. Like they didn't really need it themselves, but they had been following me and they just recommended to their friends. And I
Yeah.
think basically now, even though I'm not really promoting it actively, it's just there's still the momentum, right? That from the initial launch, that just keeps getting a few sales a day.
Exactly. Yeah, and if people are curious, they can just go to your Twitter. This is a great blog post. This is a good example of how you build your audience. So let me walk you through two more things. One is workflows. Uh, Luckily, Zoom's amazing, so like I'm pretty sure the recording is intact. but you can create a workflow. Let me create a new one just to show everyone how easy it really is. Um, Boom, new workflow. Let's say customers of that product. Let's say only the advanced. This is what I wanted to show everyone is like, say like invitation to, private Slack, because you want to give people that, join that tier. You can add an email and send it right away, or you can say, whenever you want, really one day after purchase, you type that in, and you're done. If you want to send it to everybody who's ever bought the product, you're good to go. If you only want to do it going forward, you can say only send to new customers. And that's workflows. Really simple feature that we don't do a good enough job, honestly, promoting. So I wanted to share that. And the other thing I wanted to really quickly show is if you wanted to do private sales, basically, you can always just hide them from your profile. See, if once you hide everything, it turns into a follow page because that's all that's left. But you can choose what your profile shows. We'll make this easier to know about. So if you want to do, let's say, like a private sale to just email your email list, you could just turn it off from here. Or what we often see is people create a high price product and then just in case, and then email their newsletter a discount. People do that with like giving like members discounts and free content as well. Yeah, that's about it. Daniel, hopefully you got a few followers from that.
It looks like I did. Yeah, I'm already seeing the
But
notifications.
let me see. Let's see if anyone has any other questions. I'll shout all those links, the roadmap. We have a Facebook group for creators where you can always ask them questions. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. I'll send out all these links. My email, if you ever have any follow-up questions, is sahil, SAHIL @gumroad.com. You can also follow me on Twitter. I don't really have much to say at this point on Twitter. I feel like my thought leadership is not super important right now. Maybe next year. But yeah, we have lots of stuff coming.